give a round of applause for our intention setter today, Ber-Henda.
All right. Thank you. All right, so we need some energy this morning. I know it's early, all right? And we need to have our caffeine, and we got this amazing breakfast, but we need some energy because if we're gonna set intentions worthy of our soul, we gotta get some energy. So let's go ahead, stand on up. Come on, stand up. We got some Jilly from Philly. So this is Detroit. So Detroiters say, what up, though? So when I say, Detroit says, what up, though? Detroit says, what up, though? Say it like you're from Detroit and you feel it and you mean it. Detroit says what? Yeah, so I want us to go ahead and let's get us a good stretch. So just go ahead and stretch your arms up. Yeah, that's good. Good, good, good. Now I want you to bring them back down. And I want you to bring them around like this. Yeah, let's get some good love to yourself. All right. Then I want you to bring your hands back here to prayer pose. And let's take in some deep cleansing breaths. We're going to take it in. Bring it in through the nose. Hold it. Now let it out. Take in one deep cleansing breath again. And sigh it out like you just got off the last phone call of the day. And let's bring it in. And let's let it out like you just made that fourth quarter goal. And let's bring it in once again. Sigh it out like the kids left for the weekend. All right, so let's shake. Just shake. Let's shake it, 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 shake. Good. All right, now you all may have a seat. Now give yourselves a round of applause because you're here and it's early. And part of intentions that I've learned over the years is you can be intentional, be very intentional about your day, and you don't have to do it like everyone else does it. So for starters, typically my day doesn't start till 11 a.m. Now I'm up and I meditate and I work out, but not really a morning person. But I get to set that intention, right? So we get to architect our days however we see fit, right? And even if you are in a traditional space, you still get to set the rhythm and tone of the day. Somebody say rhythm. 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 So I hope everyone has one of these because I'm just gonna go through this really quickly. If you don't have one, maybe we can get some people to pass those out to you if you don't have one. But I'm just gonna go through my process and I hope that you can adopt it for setting intentions. So first and foremost, we always wanna get clear. And if we can kind of turn that music down just a little bit because I think we're in the space and the place, right? Yeah. So we first want to get clear, meaning you want to empty your mind out. So true or false, how many of us keep like multiple tabs open in our computer? It's all good. No, this is a safe space. There's no judgment here, safe space. Okay, let's be honest. When we first wake up in the morning, how many of us check our email first thing in the morning? Might even sleep with the phone so you can be on that email. Yeah. So let's do some Scouts honor here. Can you promise yourself that for the first 20 minutes of your waking that you won't go to technology? Okay, okay. So Scouts honor. All right. Because what happens is when you first wake up, the first 20 minutes, your subconscious mind is still in kind of that dream state. And so you don't want to have your day rocked, right? Because if you see that email, right, that means I have to respond. So now you've started your day out with a 3-alarm fire, right? So when we can start our day, sans the technology, at least 20 minutes, first 20 minutes, then we can really be intentional about where we're going. So some of you may say, what's the difference between an intention and a goal? So glad you asked. Because the difference between an intention and a goal, the intention is what undergirds the goal, okay? And we're gonna practice a little bit here in a minute. So what I want you to think about as we're setting intentions, not just for the day, but where we go from here, as we know we're getting ready to kind of come to the close out of the year. Instead of setting the intention, let's even say you have a monetary goal, right? So instead of, we want to bring in $100,000 in revenue. What if instead we set the intention of making an impact with our $100,000 of revenue? X amount of dollars we want to go to a charity, X amount of dollars we want to go on family vacay, so that your money kind of knows where to go. And then you understand why it is, because understanding the why really helps you root into the intention. So Vishen Lakiani, who's the founder of Mind Valley Institute, so if you have not followed Mind Valley, I invite you to do so, said that adults have 3 essential questions to ask themselves. What do you want to learn? What do you want to contribute? And what do you want to experience? And from those 3 categories, that sets us up for our intentions and know where we're going. Because all of us have to do some sort of labor, right? We know that that's part of the human condition, right? But if we're going to work, what is our why? What's the driver? What's the intention? One of my favorite mentors, she doesn't know it, but in my head, one of my favorite mentors, Oprah, said that there was a show that she recorded that never saw the light of day because what it would have done was adversely impacted this woman's son. She was a sex addict. And if she put that show out, she said it would have definitely disrupted her son's life, although, of course, we love ratings, right? It would have been great for her, but would have an adverse impact. So this is why we want to make sure that our goals are undergirded by our intentions. And then the next piece, after we're setting our intentions, divorce ourselves from outcomes. Now I know that might sound counterintuitive because as business folk, what is our bottom line? It's outcome driven. What is the outcome? What is it going to translate to, right? What's the bottom line? And a lot of times the bottom line ends up being, well, what's the profit? Yeah, but what's the real cost? Because how many of us want to spend our lives where we're doing the thing, and even as entrepreneurs, we say we have freedom, but we're missing little league games. Or for those of us who are in a particular life cycle where you have aging parents, you got to step into that part too. And so while yes, you might be revenue driven and all of those goals and those things are happening, and let's just be honest, world pre-2020 looks a lot different than the world that we're currently occupying now. And so we have to make room and space for all the isms and schisms and phobias, where we really have to make sure that there's a world that works for all. So as we set our intentions, I'm going to set a timer here. We're going to set some intentions. I want you to think of it as living your legacy. We want to be a good ancestor. Somebody say be a good ancestor. You want to be a good ancestor. And so how do we do that? We want to make sure that we're good stewards of the earth, we're good stewards of time, and we're good stewards of resources. So in your handy dandy book, there is a notes section, okay? And I promise you, I'm not OCD. There's a method to my madness, okay? So when you're setting intentions, okay, you want to set anywhere between 3 and 9. So you can set 3, you can set 6, or you can set 9. You may say, Ber-Henda, what's up with 3, 6, 9? Well, I'll tell you. The genius Nikola Tesla believed in the 3, 6, 9 method. I mean, now he was really OCD. Like hotel rooms had to be like divisible by some derivative of 3, 6, or 9. He had to arrive at like somewhere on the 3, 6, 9. It was weird. They even, when he passed away, like he passed away in a hotel room somewhere at the 3, 6, 9. So like he was obsessed with numbers. But here's the thing. We can't contest that Nikola Tesla was a genius, was he not? So 3, 6, 9. Also, the brain, if you give it too much to do, it can't really focus. But 3, 6, 9 is something tangible and you can walk away with. So I'm going to give you all 3 minutes to write out some intentions, but undergirding that intention, think about, why do I want this? What will be the impact, not just in terms of profit, but in terms of people and purpose, right? Because we can say, okay, I need to hire X number of staff people, right? But if they're not the right people, right? If the vision isn't clear, they don't fit with the culture, it's just a quick fix. So So think about if you need to fill roles, if there's a revenue outcome that you're thinking about, if there is on that personal level, that foreign language you've been wanting to take, that class, that's just as important as your business. So take the next couple of minutes to finish writing out some of your intentions, and then we're gonna kick it old school. I used to be a teacher once upon a time. I taught 10th grade Spanish. We're gonna do the pair share, okay? So finish writing out those goals, those intentions, and then we'll share it with a partner. Okay. All right, keep going. And if you need pens, there's pens moving about here, pens moving about here. And there is a note section. Phone always works too. Ooh, now I'm doing the dance. And I am totally fine. Oh, great. So I'm totally fine with two as we, no, continue, just continue. If there's an odd pairing, so if there's a third person because of the way we're sparse out, that's totally fine too. Okay, so let's take one more minute. About another 30 seconds. So I'd like for you to turn to your neighbor to your right. So turn to your right. All right. If there's no one on your right, turn to your left. But make sure that you have a partner, okay? So you decide who's gonna be person A and who's gonna be person B, all right? So just make a quick decision, A or B. Look in that person's eyes, introduce yourself. Be friendly, introduce yourself. Over there. All right. So A's are sharing, and I need some makeup time here, so A's are sharing. So this is actually my favorite part. So if you are person B, I want to make sure that the other person is heard as we close this section out. All right. So we're going to take it back to the top at the very beginning. Detroit says what? Detroit says what? Detroit says what? Detroit says what? All right. So I know that this exercise went really fast, and once you all got going, I also feel like really going on these intentions, which is amazing because you're speaking life to the thing that you want to come to pass. And when you have two or more gathered, right, there's some magic there in the midst, and it actually becomes amplified. And that's why I had you all write instead of type, because when we write things down, you'll be amazed at what happens, right? So that's the magic that lives inside of you. Hey. Hey, so I am Ber-Henda. It has been a pleasure to be with you all this morning. Please keep in touch. If you flip on the back, there's a QR code to stay in touch with me for my Instagram. And right now we're in the midst of an 11K, an 11-day challenge from our organization, The Power of Girlhood. We have an International Day of the Girl Summit getting ready to come up. There is no donation too small. So if you want to learn more about me and what I do and the work that we do in the world, we also have board member seats available if you're interested. Please check me out with that QR code. This has been my time. Thank you all so very much.